Alright, so first thing we're going to do is gather up a list of semantic keywords. So start with the squiggly line and then the keyword. Then you can see that the bold blue terms that come up are the semantically relevant terms. So those are terms that are favorable in relation to the main keyword here. So here we're using the word charity, and words in relation to that are relevant are foundation. As you saw, there's a few others. So let's get into the keyword tool, the suggestion tool. Type in the CAPTCHA, and we'll type in the first word, which is our main keyword, charity. So, you can see the results come up here, and you can see we have dozens of keywords to use in our project. So let's take this first list, gather it up. Notice that first line says keywords. I always delete that. So I start by saving the main list to the Xrumer directory. So inside the Xrumer directory there is a directory called words. You simply name that file, in this case, charity.txt, and you can see all the keywords are there. Now we're going to continue and search for more keywords. You can see it gives you an extra list here. It's up to you whether you want to grab these or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm not always particularly diligent when it comes to gathering all of the keywords, but in this demonstration I want to show you how to gather the most possible keywords. So let's type the next semantically relevant word. Okay, and let's get the results here. So all the non-profit results, let's grab those and add those to our project. I simply delete that first line, the keywords line, select everything, and add it to that file which we save in the main the words directory under Xrumer. So we have one file called charity.txt, and we're just adding all of these search terms to the charity.txt file, which is located in Xrumer/words. Just to recap what we're doing here, we're gathering our list of words that we're going to use to gather forums. So we want to find forums that are relevant to our particular niche. In this case, charity fundraisers and non-profit events. For those of you who are just joining us, our website is charity-for-children.info, and we've just launched this website just under 2 weeks ago. We haven't done any work on the website so far. This will be the first marketing venture that we do to promote the website. So let's open a text file right now and save those keywords, and we're about ready to launch Xrumer. First thing we want to do once we launch the Xrumer is to set our words database to charity.txt or whatever we're using. And the next thing we want to do is we want to refresh the proxies. And this allows us to gather search terms more efficiently. As you can see, we're using the modified search engine filter that came with Xrumer Unleashed. And this lets us collect only forums that Xrumer can post to. It's very effective that way. These are the additive words, and we're just about ready to get started. We'll just select a new links list to save to here, and this is the same one that you'll see on the forums that was posted. Those of you with premium access, you'll be able to follow along and see the results and download the exact file that I'm collecting right here. You guys will get access to that on the premium forums. So you'll see very quickly we'll have over 9,000 forums, and we'll be ready to go on to phase 2. Alright, first thing we want to do in any project is check for blacklist entries. So select away from the current database, and then you can go and select links list ID 160, which is our charity links list. So we open that up, and we'll see there's no blacklist entries because I've done this before, but it never hurts to do it twice. Now let's dig deep with the links list analysis tool. Okay, I'm going to set the number of threads to 50, and you can see that I've got on the left-hand side several search terms. You want to put as many relevant terms in there as possible. Next, we'll populate the fields here, and we'll just call our links list something else that we can work with later. Once we get this tool started, you'll see it's quite slow and it's going to take its time to collect. What it's doing, because I've selected check only the content in the header, it is going through the meta information of the site. So for example, if a site is called charitydomain.com, it will be scooped up by this tool. Now there may be some spam on these forums, there may be some pharmaceutical or Viagra or whatever. That doesn't matter because they will be semantically relevant to us. So you'll see how this benefits the search engine rankings as we continue this project. So I'll just fast forward to the point where it's collected all of them, and we'll continue from. And we're back with a freshly collected links list. As you can see, I'm calling it links list ID 260. And we're going to do another pass now with the links list database analysis tool. This time looking for host names. The first time we ran it on the header with the check only the header in the content. And on the second pass we ran it for host names. So it collected a few more domains, a few more forums for us to go and promote. Now, let's just check our speed and success settings. I like to turn them all the way up. If you do use CaptchaBot here, you would want to select that option. In this case, we'll be inputting the CAPTCHAs manually, just to give you an example of what I do when I don't have any CaptchaBot credits. So you can see we've got registering only without posting. That option is checked, as well as the option to load an avatar on profile editing. Also important is that it makes a log of the categories, and I'll show you why that's important in just a little bit. So let's just, one more time, run the blacklist check. And the reason I'm doing this repeatedly, although we've already done this, is just to drill it into your mind that you can't do this enough. Always double check your blacklists. Always check your links list for blacklist entries, and that way you can avoid complaints. So, if we just get it started, immediately you'll see the manual CAPTCHA window pop up, asking us to start entering the CAPTCHAs that it can't solve on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Because it's a rather short list, I'm going to be doing the entire thing manually. So you'll get to see from the perspective of if you had no CaptchaBot credits, what you would have to do to get the market penetration that brings results, essentially. So you can see there's all sorts of different CAPTCHAs that Xrumer is unable to solve. And you can see on the left-hand side of the manual CAPTCHA box window, when it says OK, that means the CAPTCHA was solved properly. There have been some issues with the reCAPTCHA, and if you use the xignore.txt file that I provided, you can eliminate those conflicts, and you can see the green OK even on the reCAPTCHAs. So for now, we're just registering. We're not posting at all. We're just registering accounts. For those of you who are part of the premium package, you know what the project file looks like for this particular project. And you know that we're not using any domain names or promoting any websites at all. We're simply registering with a username that has keywords in it. So in this case, we're using the username donate to charity. Okay, we're reaching near the end of the manual CAPTCHAs. So this is a proof of concept. Once again, if we wanted to do this on a large scale, we would absolutely add as many keywords as we could in the links database analysis tool. This is just to give you an idea of how to do SEO using Xrumer. So you can see we've got a green OK for all of them. They've all went through properly. Let's have a look at our successes now. Let's take a look at the categories first. So these are the categories that it collected and the number of times that that category appeared. So the most popular ones are at the top and the least popular ones at the bottom. In this case, because we're using a highly targeted list, many of these categories will be relevant to our term charity or fundraiser. So if you just take a quick look through, you'll be able to see that many of these are related, some of them not too related. It is recommended to go through these one by one and remove anything that's completely out of line with your project goals. For now, let me just use it as is. Without the first two, I don't care for those. So let me show you how to use the .au3 file, cat.au3. Load that up in AutoIt. And you can load up the other files that came with it as well. So there's categories.txt and cat.txt. At this point, I've got 3 files open in AutoIt. I've got cat.au3, categories.txt, and cat.txt. I'm making sure there's nothing in any of those. And now I'll take the new categories I have and put those in categories.txt, just as is, just like that. Okay, make sure cat.txt is empty as well. The results will be placed into cat.txt. So right now, I'm just going through and making sure that there's nothing out of the ordinary in my list. So categories.txt contains the raw list of categories that we collected. So now the program itself, in order to launch it, you can either press F5 or you can navigate the menus and press the Go button. Okay, and when you do that, it'll just take a few seconds, and then if you open the file cat.txt, you'll see all of the category terms are now listed here, enclosed in double quotes. Now what this does is just make your job easier when it comes to placing priority categories in Xrumer. Now Xrumer will only let you use up to 200 priority categories at once, so you'll see that's why it's important you want to select all the relevant terms, stack them all together. In this case, I'm just going to grab the first 200 just as a proof of concept. So as you can see, I'm going to replace the priority categories in my project, press OK, and then save. Now, we registered on all these different forums and we collected the categories lists. What this does is it lets us post to the appropriate categories, because the next step that we're going to do is just a straight post to promote our website. We're going to make a post in all the appropriate categories. So you'll see I'm selecting posting on behalf of a previously registered user in the advanced options. And what that does, if I just hit start, it'll automatically go through all the boards that we registered on as the user Donate to Charity, because that was our username, those of you who are following along with the project file. And it's going to go and look for those priority categories to try to make a post in there. So I'm going to let this run for a bit, and we'll take a look at the results in just a little bit. Okay, so we had a rather short links list. It didn't take us much time to go through it. Now you can see something interesting right off the bat. You'll notice the successful post count is only 7, while the profiles post count is 17. Now what does this mean? Well, when you use the links database analysis tool, you'll normally pull a lot of very highly secure forums. What that means is that the administrator needs to approve your account. Now let's go have a look at the profiles and the successful posts so we can get a better idea of what we're dealing with. So let's load up the first successful post that we want to look at into the web browser. So we can see right away our user Donate to Charity did indeed make a post here. You can see it posted on this Hackers for Charity website, which is great because it's got the word charity in it, in the main forum. Now, although there's a lot of spam, pharmaceutical, and Viagra crap on here, they're not getting as many benefits as we are because our post is semantically relevant. So let's load up the second one here so we can have a look. So Volunteer Center, here you can see a very highly targeted forum in terms of search terms. The search terms that the forums that we're posting to here are relevant in terms of their words. The words are relevant to the words that we're promoting. So in that sense, it's very effective for SEO purposes. A lot of you are asking, what's the point of posting on boards where there's only spam? Well, the search engine robots don't necessarily know that. I'm going to give you a few tips in order to maximize your success. As I mentioned before, there are 17 profiles, but only 7 successful posts. When you use this method, as you can see in the REST log here, many accounts need to be approved by the administrator. So we recommend that you register your accounts and then you wait 1 week so that the accounts get approved. As well, keep all your accounts. So this user that we created, Donate to Charity, we would absolutely keep that user and try posting again as him in the next few weeks, because not all these boards are going to delete the user. That user is still good. So keep that in mind. Wait 24 hours to a week between registration and posting, and you'll get a higher success ratio. You'll notice I've switched back to links list 160, and I'm setting things up so that we can post. So I've unchecked posting on behalf of a registered user, and we're just going to do the whole links list. 160 is the links list that we collected that has everything. 260 was the highly targeted secure forums one. So what I'm going to do first is put it on automatic mode because I don't want to fill out manual captures. There's too many of them. And we're just going to blast the whole list. So we could have just done this in the first place, but I wanted to show you that for SEO purposes, you need only the highly targeted links lists. Now, for a global traffic blast, or maybe you just don't care, it depends. There's so much versatility to Xrumer that we need to examine all these different pieces of it one by one. So all these methods can be used independently or together. In this case, we're doing both. We've attacked the targeted forms first, and now we're doing a general sweep of all the forms. Normally what you would do is create a new email account as well. Anytime you create a new campaign, it's recommended that you create a new email account. So I'm going to let this run. I'm going to compress the time for you guys so you don't have to watch all this boring posting, and we'll look at the statistics after. Okay, so let's get some statistics for you guys. You can see how many successful posts we've had here, how many profiles, and how many unsuccessful or the rest posts. So let's get some basic statistics for the successful posts. We'll do 5,678 divided by the total number of posts, which is around 30,000. And you could see the results here, times 10. That'll give us a percentage. So our percentage is around 17% penetration ratio. We're not using aggressive mode, we're not double posting or anything like that. That's a straight ratio of successful posts versus non-successful posts. Let's collect some posts that other users have created and reply to them. So this is known as the rlinks list method. In order to do that, I've run Xrumer without turning the links to index. So that's in the options. Disable that option of turning the site to index and collect a new list, once again, using the same words as we did in the first phase. So once you've got a list collected without turning them to index, what you can do is run the rgen tool that comes from Botmaster. Let me just find where I put that. There it is. Okay, and we'll load up our newly collected list. Okay, we'll set the output to the same file name, but just add R in front of the links list. Hit start, and you can see how many we've got here. So just over 9,000 posts that we can post to. If we load up the appropriate links list and turn to our links list mode, the software is now ready to post to other users' replies. Let's just make sure our advanced options are set properly. You can see I've got mandatory registration unchecked because some boards don't require that. Okay, it's already started, and as soon as we get some successful posts, we'll start examining them for their content. Now keep in mind, Xrumer is of course a numbers game, and the majority of posts will be going to spam boards and places where there's been lots of advertisement already. That's not something that's new. The way that we separate those later on will be with the ref tracker system that I'll be showing you. Now, for now, it's just a proof of concept. It's more important that you understand the steps so that you can apply them on your own projects. Let's look at the first entry in the successful posts for our links list mode. So when we load that up in the web browser, we can see right away there's a lot of spam here. What's important is that our post is at the bottom here. You can see it at the bottom. So it is in fact replying to existing threads. That's the key here. We can have a lot of fun and get other users replying to our post, make them think that we're a real user by asking questions and replying as a different bot. There's all sorts of possibilities.